that when movies say 3, they mean the start time's 3:45.
You should know that.
Time. Yeah,
we're live.
Warn a guy first. And we're
live. Yes, welcome back to another episode of the Lonely Marks. We are lonely, and we're Marks. It's a weird intro. Austin, what's up?
You made it weird.
Winnie the Pooh Blood Honey was better than Ant-Man. All right, how you guys doing? That has nothing to do with Lonely Marks. I just wanted to throw that out there.
It doesn't. And as the only person on the panel tonight that hasn't seen Ant-Man yet, I'll take your word for it. Jordan, what's up?
Hey, yeah, Ant-Man's awesome when you're in the middle of the movie going, should I move match 2 and 3 around in my dream car? I mean, I could.
Richie, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Again, I'm sorry, Peyton Reed or whatever, but yeah, I was finalizing my card like during the movie as well. I'm sitting there.
What a compelling movie!
Wow.
Sorry, Peyton.
I completed my card a
match
week
number
ago.
5. I think I'll switch that one. What's the card for Elimination Chamber? Let me put my predictions together for tonight real quick. And
I will say the mellow yellow though is good at AMC.
Yeah. My Regal has Pepsi other than Coke, instead of Coke products. It's interesting.
I've been on a starry kick.
Starry.
Give us a quick snacky review. Good, huh? All right.
I'm pretty convinced it's just Sierra Mist, and they just changed the name to boost sales.
Rebranding. Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll work because now I'm interested.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lemon lime beverage. I mean, there's nothing really to say about it. It's fine.
Yeah,
Bring back Volt.
Starry came from like what?
Well, Stardust, obviously. Cody Rhodes owns it.
Oh, he's a shareholder.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Uh-huh.
He's getting into the Logan Paul energy drink game.
Yeah. Prime.
I saw a clip the other day. Logan Paul and KSI were comparing Prime against a unnamed best-selling energy drink beverage in the world, and they only had obviously it's Red Bull, but they only had this much of it covered up, so you could clearly tell from the rest of the can that what it was.
It's like when they have Budweiser in movies, but they conveniently have their hand over the Budweiser logo, or when they drink a soda, it conveniently has a cover on it, a generic thing that just says cola on it. Or it's beer flavored beer. It just says beer on the side.
Beer.
When a guy goes into a bar and just orders a beer, you have to be more specific, bro. We got 40 beers on tap here. Yeah. What do you want?
It's not a spoiler at all. But there's a bit at the end of Ant-Man where I realized, you'd hate this because it's a pet peeve, and it's a pet peeve of mine. Where Paul Rudd goes into whatever this place, he's just like, I'll just have a coffee. What coffee?
Yeah, sure. Barista
coffee.
like that. Yeah. I'm sure every barista.
Nowadays, it's you got to be super specific what kind of coffee you want. If you just want a black coffee, you have to say black coffee.
Big go Spider-Man.
If you want coffee, you want cream, you want sugar, you want soy milk, you want fucking oat milk, you want whole milk, skim milk.
Grande.
Yeah. Venti.
Well, now that's getting
that's getting into another Paul Rudd movie. Hey, relax on that.
Venti means 20. Congratulations, you're stupid in 3 languages.
Yeah, right.
But that's our Vega Ant-Man review. This is what I'm getting.
Middling.
You can hear our more
I'm
thoughts
nice.
next week.
It's like that. It's like that. Yeah.
You can hear our full thoughts on the.
Even the thumbs up review or the Orange Cassidy, it's like.
It's not a stiff thumbs up.
No.
Speaking of Orange Cassidy,
speaking of stiff,
he wasn't in ECW.
He wasn't in ECW, but he is in AEW, and I want to get you guys' thoughts real quick. Apparently, Mark Briscoe has signed with AEW. What do we think about that?
Didn't he get the graphic? I believe.
Yeah,
he did. That's interesting. Yeah, I thought he'd be like a. Does that mean I guess it means he could still do Ring of Honor stuff. and
I
then
mean,
decide what.
I don't know what they also announced too. If you want to just kind of do another quick little story, their TV tapings have been announced at Universal Studios. It's going to premiere in March, so that is finally happening. Don't know what they're going to do with the tag titles. Give Mark a partner, have him kind of like look over a tournament. I don't know, but yeah, I love Mark. I think he truly, even despite like the tragic loss, like he's a talent, and I think a good talent to have. And obviously, like you said, I'm sure he'll do the Ring of Honor shows as well, and kind of be one of those kind of Claudio / Yutas that we'll see in both.
Yeah, I hope. Well, in regards to Ring of Honor, that thing, I hope it's not always going to be at Universal Studios. I hope they make around a bit.
It's definitely not a decision I'm happy with. I wanted them to have their own look and feel. Like I kind of also like a smaller, grittier Ring of Honor than like Impact Studio. I still think Impact when I see that place anyway, or even WCW Worldwide. Like what I mean. Like it doesn't feel Ring of Honor-ish to me. But I'm not surprised it's the route they went.
But didn't they also announce they're going to start doing house shows?
Yeah, the tickets are on sale. Yeah, like the house
shows.
They're doing like the house wins kind of like tagline. Yeah, there's tickets on sale for one of them already.
Yeah.
Hey, next week I'll have a report live from I'll be there next week.
At Universal.
Nice.
No, not at Universal. I'll be at the Phoenix tapings.
Oh, that's right. No, I always forget you moved and used to live in Florida. I used to live in Florida. Now I went to a couple of TNA shows down there because
I did several of those. Yeah,
I went to three different pay-per-views because one of them, my buddy had a broken leg, so we got to sit in the handicapped area, which was awesome because it was like eye level to the ring, and it's like 3 rows back, and it's amazing. And it was fantastic. And Jushin Liger was on that show, which was great. So I got to see Jushin Liger live. And then there was another one where I was just like with all the other like Florida marks like in the front row that I knew from like all the other indie shows. So I just squeezed my way into the front and got on camera a couple times.
I popped because I saw Naftali in the back in the front stage, like also winning again, and I was like, "Can I get a picture of Naftali?" I was the only.
Well,
he was like, "Sure."
Around the couple of times I went, also I had worked a bunch of shows with SoCal Val, and she was like the hype girl at ringside that was like never on camera. So I like would yap with her in between matches because like I had done matches where she had been a valet, so like I knew her because I worked shows with her.
Yeah, I later on with too. I love Val, man. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. But those were good times like back in those indie days.
She's in the published training video, or she was. And I sent her a screenshot. She's like, "Oh, so cool! I've never seen actual footage from it because it's not something you can find unless you get employed at Publix."
Whoa, you mean like me?
Did you see her in the video? Was she in your video?
Unless it's like I don't know. Like maybe it was a video where I didn't know her at the time because I've been working for Publix for 16 years. So God knows when like she might have popped up and I might not have like recognized her. But yeah,
2012.
I was employed with him then, but who knows if I remember that.
Well, when did you start though?
2006.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. She probably filmed that in 2009, 10. So yeah, she probably filmed it way after you would have ever. I'm saying like training video, like first day with training video. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like orientation videos. Yeah. All we get is like 10-year-old safety videos now.
No, she wasn't any of those. She's in like day one. Like, I wasn't in the store. I ended up working.
The videos we have to watch every year are how to help people in wheelchairs, Richie. So how to help them grind coffee as if they can't do it themselves.
Or the one with what to do if there's a shooter. Some shit got real.
The shooter ones are hilarious because they literally tell you to fuck everybody else and just run out the door.
Yeah, that's their thing. Don't fight. Leave. Leave people behind.
Help your fellow employees.
Save yourself.
Save yourself. Fuck everybody else.
The gist of the video, legitimately.
Women and children first. Not here.
Nope. Just save yourself. I'm not even joking. That's what they say.
You can
run. What is it? I swear the tagline was like, "Run if you can, hide if you must, fight if
you must," or whatever.
It's like the 3 levels.
And then actually, one of them shows a person grabbing a fire extinguisher and hitting somebody in the dick with it. I'm not joking. It shows them like doing a full on like Triple H, like we used to do with the sledgehammer, like holding it like that, slamming it into their dick.
They do any Triple H sound effects? Gotcha.
Not singing it, no, like jabbing it, like a joust.
That's nice, safe. Yeah,
I like the moral of that story is like, fuck all those people. You can always make new friends. Yeah, okay. There's plenty of people on this earth.
They don't say it in obviously those exact words, but that's basically the gist of it. It's like, don't go back for people, just run out the door. Like, screw everybody else. I'm like, okay. You can't fire me then.
Yeah.
Court of public opinion.
Awesome. I want to see this training video now.
Yeah,
They
it's
should
something.
release these.
Mhm.
You know what else I want to see? I want to see these fantasy cards that we picked up. So you know what? Austin, let's start with yours.
Me? Okay, that's fine. All right. So yeah, my fantasy card, mine was fairly easy to put together. I was kind of almost making it while I was drafting people, so it wasn't terribly difficult when it came time to actually make my card, other than really the kind of the orders and stuff. And yeah, so my card will start out my opening match. Will be a tag team match, just a fun little opener. Danny Doring and Roadkill versus the FBI of Tony Mamaluke and Little Guido, accompanied by the 600-pound Big Sally Graziano, who I drafted as a manager, so they can obviously come out with the FBI. These guys, I did look it up. They had a couple of matches here and there on ECW TV and whatnot. But yeah, Doring and Roadkill were definitely this tag team that had given it another year or two would have been even bigger than what they were, because they were definitely on the rise. Roadkill was super popular, and the FBI were always just great sellers and shit heels, and Big Sal is best when he was just on the outside and he would slide in and squash somebody just every now and then and kind of do those little spots here and there. But yeah, fun little opener to get the crowd going, 10-12 minutes. So that would be my opening match to get things going. After that, move on to a little southern flavor, a little mix of kind of old school and high flying. I'm going to go with Tracy Smothers versus Confederate Currency Chris Hamrick for my second match. Chris Hamrick was a guy who was just kind of in ECW in the later parts, kind of moved on to XPW and a couple of promotions after that. But yeah, he had kind of this southern gimmick thing, but he was a high flying guy that was young, but he always looked 45. So I think he would fit right in with Tracy Smothers, who always looked 50, no matter what point in his career he was at as well. So two kind of southern guys. Give him 7-8 minutes. Let him have kind of an old school match. Chris Hamrick hits a couple of big moves, and there you have it. Just kind of a dynamic. Yeah,
that's how I've always felt about Silas Young. Like he's always looked about 50, and
he's the last real man. He's probably like 24.
Yeah. I swear to God, go look up Chris Hamrick when he was in ECW or even XPW back in 2002. He looks 45.
Look Chris, and then look him up in 2023. Not that much different.
Yeah, no, same. He's like Tommy Lee Jones. How Tommy Lee Jones just always looks 60.
He looks maybe 3 years older, 20 years later.
So let those guys out there second be a nice little kind of old school match. Move on to my big showcase. It's going to be 4-way extreme lucha warfare with Rey Mysterio versus Yoshihiro Tajiri versus Papi Chulo versus Psychosis. And man, that'll be a hell of a match, hell of a 4-way. Let these guys go out there and just tear it down. Papi Chulo, if you don't know, was Esse Rios in the WWF, but he was briefly in ECW as Papi Chulo. But yeah, you can let these guys just go out there and just tear it down. Let Tajiri kick the shit out of everybody in the match, just for a little flavor in there. But you got some nice little stories there. Rey Mysterio and Psychosis obviously had a ton of matches. Psychosis and Tajiri had a couple of good singles matches in ECW, but let these guys just go out there and have a nice 15-minute 4-way and just fucking dive in the crowd and do all kinds of stuff.
I like that. I like the idea of like a young Tajiri with that group. Oh man.
Yeah, no, if you haven't seen it, look up Tajiri and Psychosis from 2000 in the ECW arena. It's a great match. Great match. Really, really fun. And and then Papi Chulo and I think Tajiri had a match as well, or Psychosis, one of the two. But that's online as well. And then we'll kind of bring another dynamic swing in another direction for my match number 4. David versus Goliath. Big Dick Dudley versus Little Spike Dudley. The battle of the Dudleys. But the giant Dudley versus the littlest of the runt of the litter. Spike Dudley in ECW was he was dubbed like the giant killer in there. And what better giant than Big Dick Dudley, who, if you don't know, passed away not too long after ECW. But he was a big dude, about 6'7", 6'8", just a giant, tank of a man. And I could see him, doing the spot where Big Dick could definitely chuck him into the third row, and that'd be really fun, and just have him throwing him all over the place. Good stuff there. So just kind of a nice break in between to bring it on down from the Extreme Warfare. My 5th match will be kind of an old school brawl, just violence all around. Cactus Jack versus Terry Funk, but it's going to be a little Falls Count Anywhere action, just to switch it up. Let these guys kind of brawl around the building, bring out the weapons, bring out maybe a little barbed wire other here and there and just do what they do best, and that's just hit each other really, really hard and brawl around and just have a good time. Those guys obviously have a history with each other, and I was able to draft both of them. So Cactus Jack versus Terry Funk, Falls Count Anywhere. We'll switch it up again, take it international with a tag team match for my semi-main event. Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki taking on Tachika Michinoku and Dick Togo in a little Japanese warfare tag team showdown. As far as I can tell, I don't think these guys ever matched in the ring, so I think that'd be pretty great. Hayabusa was a guy, if you don't know, who was a really great up-and-coming kind of high flyer in Japan before he had an unfortunate accident where he broke his neck in the middle of the ring on a botched lion salt. There's footage of it online. It's pretty, he slipped on the ropes and did the whole like backwards neck thing. It was really unfortunate because it ended his career far too short. But he had a lot of great matches back in the day. And I think these guys would match up for a really fun kind of tag team match. To Prime for my main event, which is kind of a sort of international, versus America, a classic feud. Nonetheless, these guys never, ever, ever had a bad match and had about 1 million of them. They were all the same, and they were all fucking awesome. Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka in the main event for my heavyweight championship. Mike Awesome accompanied by Judge Jeff Jones, who I also drafted. I mean, how could you not go with that? These guys never, ever put on a bad showdown and just broke tables, broke each other, hit each other with chairs, and always just killed it in the ring. So I'm going to put them out there for my main event to close it out.
Have you
I'm
thought
watching
about
Tanaka fight Balls Mahoney right now, and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you thought about who would go over in that match?
I'd have Mike Awesome go over in the main because he usually went over anyways over Tanaka. Only occasionally did Tanaka actually ever go over. Usually, I think he went over on a couple of their TNN matches. But Mike Awesome usually on pay-per-view would go over. My tag match, I'd probably have Hayabusa and Shinzaki go over. Terry Funk goes over Cactus Jack. Dudley gets the best of Little Spike Dudley, Big Dick. I'd probably have Tajiri go over in the 4-way. Smothers over Hamrick, and Doring and Roadkill over FBI.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. I'm just going to assume that's a great card.
Sounds like a good card, doesn't it? Sounds like a great card.
That's a good card.
I'll
Sounds like a hell of a card. A nice mix of everything. I've got a nice layout. I even always think about, how should it lay out, how the dynamics of the show, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, how it flows.
Jacob, get on Peacock. Go watch some ECW.
Yeah.
I'm too busy rewatching stuff I've already seen. Richie!
Well, hey, if I win the predictions, which I never do, maybe we'll watch an ECW pay-per-view.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Yeah. So for my card, I'm going to start off with. I'm gonna start off with like not your most catch can wrestling. Just people going to beat the shit out of each other, probably to music. I'm gonna do So my opening match is the chair swing freaks of Balls Mahoney and Axel Rotten versus the Gangsters. So just people beating the shit at each other with weapons. That's what it is. It's nothing too simple. I did it just to go. Hey, you're watching ECW right now. This is what you came here for. Great. So I think that'd be a good opener. And yeah, like none of the 4 teams are known for Balls Mahoney's a decent worker, but none of them are known for kind of your classic matches. But I think this is the best way to use it. And my next match probably ECW wasn't known for its great women's wrestlers, but there was two that I'm gonna use two that are good workers. So I'm gonna go Angelica, who was Lita, versus Jazz, and she's gonna be accompanied by Sinister Minister. That's how I'm gonna use it.
Jazz.
So,
who was known as Jazz?
Huh?
Yeah. Jazz was always known as Jazz everywhere she went.
Oh yeah, Jazz. Yeah, Jazz. Yeah. Sometimes mostly just Jazz. Yeah. But yeah, and I just think it's 2 women who could work. I think that would fit the ECW style. Because most women in ECW are just sort of valets, like your Francine, your Dawn Marie, Beulah McGillicuddy kind of thing. So, I think having 2 women that could work, it could work. Well,
most of the time in Jazz in her little stint in ECW, most of the time was kind of like China. She just fought dudes most of the time. Yeah, but mid card dudes, she'd fight like Simon Diamond or something, some mid card, Chetty or
Not
something.
tonight, she doesn't.
Yeah, but not tonight. No, that's fine. But yeah, if you go back and actually watch occasionally on pay-per-views, yeah, she would just show up and like mid-match fight a dude, for 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I mean, I didn't mention it. Just going back a bit, probably with Church and Freaks and the Gangsters, I don't know, I'd probably have, just because I don't know, I'd have the Gangsters go over. I think they're a bit more, and then for Angelica over Jazz, I'd probably have Jazz go over, just because I think she's like the more sort of personification of ECW kind of thing, and more of a badass. Next one, I'm going away from just sort of full on hardcore and going the technical wrestling side of things. Like two underrated, really good technical wrestlers. I'm going to go Dr. Death Steve Williams versus Chris Candido. I think these two you could have a really good match, and they're both very underappreciated with what they could do. Both, Steve Williams was underrated. He's probably best known in the States for he was. I think they wanted him to win Brawl for All. But because they made that a shoot, he lost.
He was supposed to work with Stone Cold Steve Austin after that. They were going to push him. JR wanted to push him to fight Stone Cold once he won the Brawl for All. But obviously that didn't happen because he got knocked the fuck out by Bart Gunn.
Who ended up winning the whole thing. And then Bart Gunn got punished for winning a shoot thing by being handed Butterbean at WrestleMania. And Chris Candido is always a guy that's been, he's very, very, very solid worker anywhere he went. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2005 from I think a blood clot. But yeah, he was always very good, and I think he never reached his ceiling. But I think these two could have a really good match. And so
just to touch on Steve Williams, who I love too. Outside of Brawl for All, he had 3 televised matches. I got an action figure out of it though, so holy shit.
Yeah, he definitely had way more. Like, if you want to see Steve Williams like work, just go watch his stuff from Japan, basically.
Japan.
Yeah, when he's just like killing dudes with suplexes and shit, just destroying guys.
So I'll do that, and then I'm going to put the ECW tag titles on the line. Triple threat, which in this case, obviously, because someone stole it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It'll be Benoit and Dean Malenko versus the Steiners. I think just two teams beating the shit out of each other, basically, and so I think that could be a lot of fun. I'd probably have Triple Threat go over. Also on the Steve Williams, Chris Candido, I'm gonna have Steve Williams go over. Why not? But yeah, Triple Threat and Steiners, I think they could have a really good match. As well as kind of incorporate the hardcore style, just beating the shit out of each other. So I think it'd be amazing. My next match.
How much of a non-ECW guy I am? I thought you were talking about a triple threat tag team match.
The tag team or faction or whatever.
Although they were never called Triple Threat in ECW, just saying.
Anyway,
they tagged a lot in ECW, so it's fine. They just didn't have a name.
I know.
I'm saying definitely book them. We can't call them Triple Threat though.
I know. Okay, whatever. Just ignore that then. The next match is going to be what JR would call bowling shoe ugly. The big hoss fight between 911, who was mainly used as a kind of bodyguard guy who just choke slam fools, to kind of Paul Heyman knew how to use these people because he wasn't a great wrestler. Versus Sid Vicious, who wasn't also not.
Hopefully, you keep it to 90 seconds, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. Boy, would that be ugly.
That's good. It's gonna be fun. You know what? It's gonna be a bowling shoe ugly.
You're generous with 90 seconds. That's about 45 seconds.
I was including entrances, but all right.
Oh, okay. I'm going bell to bell. I see. We had different. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Look. Some of these things are fun to talk about when they after they happen. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. And then I don't know. After that, you got. I'm gonna put Sandman in a match with Aaron O'Grady, who was Crash Holly. So yeah, I get another hardcore hardcore match. Sandman's not the greatest wrestler in the world, but I
You're
might
booking those 2 matches back to back.
look. My next match is pretty good. Okay, look, yeah, I know I will have because I don't know if I'd use Sandman as much as like Paul Heyman did. I'd probably have Aaron and Grady go over, but yeah, because.
Oh.
With probably the most devastating move in the history of wrestling that he always used for a finisher, the roll up.
The roll up, yeah.
The roll up, yeah. Yes.
Crash Holly defeated Brock Lesnar before he debuted. Never mind.
Oh yeah, he
On
did,
TV.
yeah. The next one, I swear it's a good match. That's why, three-way dance for the TV title. I've got Super Crazy versus Juventud Guerrero versus Jerry Lynn. And
Okay, that's actually a good match. Yes,
that match is going to be match is going to rule. That match is going to rule. And yeah, I just think that there's no way. I think yeah, all three are really good workers, especially Jerry Lynn here, and I think it's gonna. Yeah, there's no way it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be great. So I'll have Jerry Lynn go over there, and yeah, just you know, and my main event for the ECW title, just to because it's ECW, I'm gonna and they've wrestled each other heaps of times before, but why not again? I'm gonna have Taz versus Raven. Yeah. So yeah. It looked like I have a kind of a diverse lineup there. I got like some hardcore matches. I got some matches that are purposely going to be bad, and
everyone needs to use the bathroom.
So we can all agree. So far, I have the best card. All right, check it out.
I like it. Just space out those 2 matches.
Yes, we will. And Jordan's got graphics.
He's got graphics
because Jordan likes to go above and beyond.
Because Jordan's got free time.
Hey man, make my shit look official.
What is free time? Boom!
Bam! We're starting off with a hot up and coming showcase as Julio De Niro is taking on Michael Shane. Shane, of course, is going to be used more in TNA later on. He was at the last couple of house shows and the last couple of loops ECW did. Both young, hot up and comers. That could have been so much more if ECW had lasted a little bit longer here. Next, we're seeing Brian Pillman taking on Louis Spicoli. This is the best Brad Radford promo shot I could find. Yeah, I think this week just some fun promos here. Good second match on.
That looks like every promo shot from a Florida indie ever.
Even the left one is a t-shirt and a
knows what I'm talking about. Those both look like Florida indie promo shots.
It's easy. Yeah, got a vest and a cool shirt, and the other one's like, I got some flannel.
Yeah, I'm a country boy with some flannel on.
He looks like one of the Bear Country guys.
Hey, they're in good shape now. One of them is. Up next, it's actually a triple threat match. Again, just the easiest promo shots I could find. But I would say more of the superhero Nova, Easy Money, and then Stevie Richards in a good triple threat match to kind of have some fun. All fun kind of characters battling it out here. Up next for the TV title, we're going to have Al Snow take on Al Snow with Head, of course, take on Rhino. Good. This would be a good kind of another mid card match here for the TV title. Shane Douglas, I'm going to have take on Steve Corino here. Again, just promos leading up to this, I think would be pretty epic. These two later on actually fought more in MLW against each other here. Their times not too much crossing in ECW. Shane kind of went on to WCW at the time, but I thought could have a really good match here.
I almost went to an MLW show in Jacksonville, and they went out of business 3 days before the show.
Oh, man.
back in 2003 or something like that.
20 years later came back?
Yeah, their original run, and then they came back, 15, 18 years later, whatever it was.
Well, also, Steve Corino's son, Colby Corino, now in WWE.
Is he? Doing what?
Yeah. He signed. Colby Corino signed. I don't know.
Okay.
Doing, I don't know, wrestling?
No, okay. First of all, fuck you, Jacob. A lot of indie guys that are kind of small might end up being refs, so that's another thing. So there's options.
I don't believe you.
Shut up. Mikey Spandex from Florida is now a ref over in NXT. Bao, the Asian ref, who was a wrestler. There's a wrestler named Bandito, who's one of the Spanish refs you see now. Like, a lot of them are wrestlers.
Jessica Carr.
Jessica, yeah, my buddy. I did several shows with before she got signed. So
nice.
Shut up.
That was a legit, like, nice. I like her. I think she's good.
No, she's great, man. She's good people too. Tag team titles on the line. The Eliminators taking on the Impact Players. Just incredible. Lance Storm, who evidently are headlining this pay-per-view. I didn't know that happened. Against each other. But yeah, no, I think again, I kind of said when I kind of drafted these two, that was kind of my idea because I think these are two great teams that didn't get to collide because their times are just kind of off skew from each other. Saturn, of course, went to WCW and then later on WWF. And these two kind of bouncing around as well. I think it'd be a great tag team title match here. Use the legend Dusty Rhodes against CW Anderson. I thought it would be a really good match. I was thinking of Carino again, of course, but I was like, no, let's do something different. I think CW is very undersung here, and I think this could be a nice kind of, if you will, semi-main event before the main event here in a Texas Bull Rope match. Dusty and CW, and the main event being the two ECW icons. Rob Van Dam would have definitely been involved in.
He has to deal with people doing a run-in on the podcast in his house.
Let's do it live.
Yeah, no, RVD and Sabu had a couple of matches. I remember they had like a stretcher match at one point, which was odd, but they had like the cheapest looking stretcher you'd ever seen in your life, like one of those orange ones. Like ones with the orange cushions. Looked like from the most ghetto ambulance in the world. And then they had like a TV title match or two and a title. And then they tagged a lot too, because that team I used, Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki on I think it was Heatwave 98 or one of those. It was them versus RVD and Sabu. Like they were a tag for a while with Alfonso managing them. So yeah, they had kind of a rivalry / friendship a lot. So
yeah, and another sad part of ECW ending too. Rob Van Dam will definitely been in the world title picture in the next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, well, he oddly enough he wouldn't get the world title until he got the ECW title in WWE, and then like on an ECW pay-per-view, weirdly, 5 years later or whatever. It took like an ECW invasion angle to finally get him the actual world title.
And then he got stripped of it because him and Sabu got busted for having drugs in their car.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was anybody surprised? Like that seems kind of silly to me. It's RVD and Sabu.
Hang on, I'll be back.
All these run-ins tonight. What is going on, Jacob?
All right. I don't know.
I don't know.
Jordan, before we move on, I gotta know who are you putting over? Who's going over in your?
Yeah, I was seeing if anyone was gonna ask that. I always found that weird. I don't know. Am I running a second show? Because that would be my number one question. If I'm not, start off with the face, Julio De Niro.
I always do it as if we were doing a second show. Like who would I?
Well, that's hard to do then, because then I have to know who's booked, who's available.
Just pick
I'd rather do it like there's not. So there's no second show at the moment. So start off with the face and Julio De Niro, keep the crowd hot. Pillman going over second. I'm gonna go with the superhero Nova. Rhino's gonna retain because he's a beast. Give the younger guy Steve Carino. Impact Players, Dusty, another pop, and then Rob Van Dam, the new face of the company.
Nice.
There you go.
All right. The
Sounds
card you guys have all been waiting for.
I'm listening.
It's mine.
I'm very, very interested. Jacob, the very, very novice to ECW, has no idea what anybody did in the company, what his card would look like. I'll let you know.
Yes. We are going to kick it off with a tag match, much like Austin and Richie both did. I was hoping Jordan would too, so we could all start with tag matches, but he went different. That's fine. We are starting off with the Dudleys, with Sign Guy Dudley, obviously, just carrying out signs, flipping signs all throughout the match. He came out with like 12 signs. He's going to use them all. I don't know if that was his thing or not. We're making that his thing because I just think it would be hilarious. And they will take on Public Enemy. I think From what I've read and from what I've heard.
This must be 1996 ECW because 1995 blend because the Dudleys actually once they got really hot were main eventing a lot of the pay-per-views they were on, or at least semi-main eventing a lot of them. And but I mean it's definitely a match that I don't think ever happened unless it happened with the early iteration of ECW with Dances with Dudley and Dudley. Because they were the original ones before Bub and Devon came in. Might have happened before.
Maybe. I don't know.
They did a thing where
your microphone's either not on or backwards or something, Richie.
Hang on.
Yeah, turn it around. There you go. There you go. You're backwards.
I'm back. Here we go.
There you go.
They did a thing where the Dudley Boys kept calling out Public Enemy, but Public Enemy were actually in WCW at the time. And they kept calling them out.
They finally answered. They wanted to kick off the show, calling them out. They were sick of them ducking them, so they called them out. And they finally answered.
Finally showed up on his dream card. There you go.
I think they did answer a call out once just because they had a deal with them, but they never actually had a match.
That's
a fantasy card. There you go. Yeah.
See, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Luckily, yeah. But yeah, no, I think a great tag match is a good way to open a show. I always enjoy when they're good because I think I don't know if I've ever told you this, guys, but I'm more of a tag team wrestling guy than I just give me a good tag match and I'll be happy. Like, if we could have a whole card of tag matches, I would not mind. I love tag team wrestling. I think obviously I would have the Dudleys go over. Because they're the team I know, and
better than team
one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah, and speaking of Public Enemy, if you've never seen the epic match they had on Sunday Night Heat with the Acolytes, go watch that immediately. Where they told the Acolytes was the swan song of them in the WWF, and the Acolytes beat the fuck out of them for 4 minutes.
They beat the absolute shit out of them.
And like they're using stairs, they're using chairs. It's not a no DQ match. They just told the referee, if you disqualify us, we'll kill you too. And it was them kicking them out of the company essentially, and Bradshaw and Ron Simmons beating the ever-loving shit out of them for 4 minutes for real. So go look that up. Maybe we'll play it after the show once we're off the air. I'll pull it up.
I want to see that real quick.
Yes, it's nuts.
For my second match, these two guys who are very well known, obviously. I know a lot about them, clearly, which is why I drafted them. It's Chris Chetty taking on Simon Diamond.
I told you it'd be a perfect mid-card 5-minute match, and you know what you need for that match that probably would have happened in the real ECW, Jacob. You need New Jack on the card to just hit his music, come out, and kill everybody with a weapon after that match, because that's exactly the kind of matches he would just come out of right in the middle of and hit everybody with a guitar and a keyboard and kendo sticks and signs and everything and just destroy everyone. So yeah.
Unfortunately, that can't happen. I did watch some like I went back and watched some old YouTube matches matches on YouTube of Chris Chetty, and he was good. He
had a knee injury at one point that put him out at an unfortunate time when him and Nova were getting pretty hot with like a tag team, and then he got a knee injury, and then he came back and kind of had a feud with Nova, but it was like right near the end of the run. So he got a knee injury like right at that unfortunate time when ECW was like really getting hot on pay-per-view and missed a good year or so. So yeah, but he had some potential that I don't think was ever fully realized because of the injury.
So I would have. I guess he's not listening anymore.
That's fine. I got you.
But I'll have Chris Chetty go over because he's the one I watch highlights of.
Sure.
Up next, we're gonna start it off with a singles match between Tommy Dreamer and Jake Roberts. But you know what? There's a team backstage that doesn't like that Jake Roberts is on the card because he's not really an ECW guy. So they're going to come out in the middle of this and just start beating the crap out of both guys. That's the Pitbulls, which is going to turn it into a tag match between the Pitbulls and Tommy Dreamer and Jake Roberts.
Well, that does sound like something that would happen on an ECW pay-per-view, actually, as we talked about last week. ECW had a lot of stuff where there would just be guys having a single match or something. Somebody else would come out. They would just start a tag team match, or, guys would just fight, and then all of a sudden a singles match would break out of a fight. Like that happened a lot on ECW shows.
So Jordan, since you're back and you probably missed it.
No, I listen to everything. I love it. Great
Okay.
guy.
He doesn't care. Thanks.
I do care. I do. No, I do. Did that sound fake? I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Though I do.
And I would have Tommy Dreamer and Jake Roberts go over. Tommy Dreamer getting the pin because he's Tommy Dreamer. Up next, we're gonna have Paul E. Dangerously introduce his guy.
I thought you were gonna have him in a match.
Paul
That's
E.
not a good idea.
Dangerously is coming out. Paul E. is just sick of Mikey Whipwreck. He calls out Mikey Whipwreck and he says, "I brought somebody, and let's see if you can hang." He brings out Scott Hall. So we have Scott Hall taking on Mikey Whipwreck, and Scott Hall is just throwing Mikey around, just tossing him, treating him like he's nothing. But of course, Mikey Whipwreck overcomes and wins with a roll up.
So are you doing the 1, 2, 3 kid thing?
I am in
Uh,
ECW.
okay.
All right.
I forgot I had Joel Gardner. He said some sexy things at the beginning of the show. That's it.
Okay. he opens the show in the middle of the ring with Joey Styles and does this little sexy monologue.
Yeah. That's all I envisioned him ever doing. So
Sure. Yeah, that's all. That's the right role to have him. Pretty much, that's all they had him doing on the later ECW pay-per-views. Yeah.
Up next, I know a little bit about these two guys, and I think they would have a banger of a match. You put them in the. Oh no, I was supposed to switch these. Just kidding. I realized I had two guys left, and I unfortunately just had to put them together. I don't know if that's unfortunate actually, but it is primetime Brian Lee taking on Bam Bam Bigelow, and Bigelow is going to go over because I treated this as if we were going to do a second show, and this was actually if Bigelow wins, he's the number one contender because Bigelow is like, I'm the man. I don't know if he ever said that, but he kind of is the man. In my semi-main event, this is the match that's going to be a banger. We're having Too Cold Scorpio take on Kid Cash.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then I literally flipped a coin to see who would go over because I just whatever. Too Cold Scorpio is going over. And in the main event, we have Eddie Guerrero taking on Chris Jericho. Because anytime those two are in the ring, it is gold. And why not? None of us, I don't know if ECW ever did this. I don't know if they would do this, but I love these two. And I think they can do really, really good in ladder matches. So it's a ladder match because this is my world title match.
They had ladder matches occasion, like on the off occasion.
Okay, like I said, I really don't know anything about ECW. Other
Not your typical ladder match, though.
What's the match again?
Eddie and Jericho.
Okay, in ECW. Okay, all right, yeah, all right.
And I'm gonna have Eddie go over because I love Eddie, and I remember when my dad actually. Because I was like 15 when he passed, and my dad told me, and I was like, "Really? They're doing that?" And I was like, "He was like, no, it's real. Like it's." I'm like, "Oh," and like I was devastated. Like young me was very devastated. So, yeah, Eddie's going over. And that's my card again. Dudley's over Public Enemy. Chris Chetty over Simon Diamond. Tommy Dreamer and Jake Roberts over the Pitbulls. Mikey Whipwreck barely over Scott Hall. Too Cold Scorpio over Kid Cash. Bam Bam Bigelow over Brian Lee. And Eddie over Jericho.
Yeah. I was going to say, the only time I looked up Too Cold Scorpio and Kid Cash actually had a match was, oddly enough, at that Hardcore Homecoming show that was on the same weekend as the One Night Stand pay-per-view on that Saturday night that Shane Douglas ran. Yeah. And where the
Yeah.
one where on the DVD they had to edit out all the ECW chants.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
real thing, by the way.
Not if you bought the original DVD release. They had to do that for the release that was in
The
stores.
remasters.
But if you bought the original release online, you could hear them.
Like the RF video release or some shit.
Yeah, there was like two different
right.
releases.
What
Yeah.
was that voice?
Yeah.
That was the really nerdy part of me
The
wanting to
wrestling
do a
nerd.
correction. Yeah.
I-
Actually,
I vaguely remember that show being like John Cronus came out and he was so out of shape. It's not going to.
Yeah.
it was quite bad.
Yeah. I remember the reports of that show being much better than the actual show. Just put it that way. Like the crowd reports.
That's
of
a
that
good
show.
idea. If you like
So I actually saw
a
it.
couple of those matches mixed in with the one night stand, it's the perfect amount.
Yeah.
Perfect reunion.
I think they initially had Terry Funk booked on that show, and he's like, no, I'm going to do one night stay. There was some weird thing going on there.
He did the Hardcore Homecoming show.
That's the next year. It's the exact same idea, but
You're thinking of 2006.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fast forward a year. Yeah, because no,
Yeah.
Terry Funk was just like, I'm too old to do both. I gotta focus on one.
Well, he did a
Yeah.
barbed wire match on the Hardcore Homecoming show, so he couldn't go and do the other one the next night. That might be a little tricky. Because they redid the Night Limers cross match with him, Sabu, and Shane Douglas, but they made it a barbed wire match.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then
I'm watching Jazz beat up a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, well, that's what she did, and she just beat up a bunch of dudes.
Speaking of beating up a bunch of dudes,
What?
Brock Lesnar did that last year in the Elimination Chamber.
yeah, that match.
But this year he will not be, because he is not part of the Elimination Chamber match. Instead, as we jump into our predictions, we have two chamber matches as usual. One for the United States title and one for an opportunity to face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania.
Well, you tell me what match I can go to it. I was
We'll
waiting
just,
for you.
we'll just go in whatever order you have. We'll just make it easy.
Okay.
So yeah, finally made official this past Monday. Hopefully nothing is made official tomorrow.
I think 5 matches for this card is enough because they did 5 for Royal Rumble, and you've got to figure their elimination chambers are each going to go at least close to an hour. So you can't have much more than the 2 plus the main. The main event's going to be 30.
Everything here seems like it's going to be given some time. Like this might end up being the shortest match, but hopefully even this is like at least 8 to 12.
Yeah, and the other tag will probably be like no more than 10, and then the 2 chamber matches will be longer, and then the main event, just with all the shenanigans, I'm sure before and after, and the entrances and everything, will be longer. So yeah.
And it's Peacock. They're going to have all those fucking commercial breaks, so it's still going to end up being 2.5, 3 easily.
Yeah, something like that. I'll probably end up watching the replay anyway, so that's fine. I'll fast forward through everything.
I can't watch it live, so I'll be.
I can't either. I'll be drunk watching My Bloody Valentine 3D, so I won't be watching it live.
I probably won't watch it live either because it just works out easier for my friend if he go watch it the next day. So anyway,
see all the thumbnails of all the ECW photos I downloaded.
So only Jordan will be watching this.
Live. Right.
I'll see it live.
But yeah, no. Hopefully this is not hopefully because I think they've worked really well together. But this is probably the last time for a while that we'll see Bobby versus Brock. So Jordan,
hi.
Who do you got?
This whole card, I'm not 1,000% sure on most things. I'm gonna go with Brock here. I think just because they've hyped up that Bobby has had him kind of the best of him to a degree in their feud, and also buying the logic of if the end goal of Brock is Gunther at Mania, keep him strong. That keeps him strong going into a potential IC title match. Because if it goes into a match with Gunther will be like, but you lost to Bobby. Who gives a shit? Why do I have to fight you? So, I think it just makes more sense if it's like, oh shit, Brock and Gunther. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Brock. People have been having fun with him too. I actually kind of like his new face turn.
Yeah.
I've been having fun with it actually.
Well, I mean,
I was kind of over Brock too.
Yeah. He's more of a tweener because he did give a kid his cowboy hat, but then immediately took it back. So,
but back in the day, he wouldn't have even looked at the kid's direction. So he's getting better.
True.
So, I'll say Brock. I'm not too certain, but I'll say Brock.
Richie, who you got?
I loved your Austrian accent, by the way, for Gunther. That was
Yeah,
Gunther. That
I
was
don't know
good.
what I
That was
did
good.
there.
Yeah.
I'm Gunther.
Anyway,
Hey, everybody.
I'm
I
Gunther.
am Gunther.
Isn't that how he sounds? I
Yeah,
nailed
that's
it.
what he sounds like, right? Yeah, that's what he does in his promos, right?
Reminds me of the store owner from Frozen.
Anyway,
Hey, let it go.
yeah. Yeah, this is tough to predict. I don't know if the direction is Brock. I know that there was rumors about it being Brock and Gunther, but then I've heard that Gunther's probably going to verse Sheamus and Drew McIntyre in triple
I'd
threat
rather
match.
see that three-way match because that sounds awesome. That
That
sounds
sounds
like a
amazing.
fucking house fight that I want to see.
I'm more into the new unique match, but I'll take either.
Yeah. But yeah. I think. Yeah, they've established that Lashley, sort of has his number here. And I think they should keep going with it. To get Lashley over as and maybe they can revisit it later down the line. But I feel like they're going to keep going with the storyline of Lashley being Brock's kryptonite. So I'm going to go Lashley here. I think he'll get it done.
All right, Austin.
So I never win these predictions anyways. So
Okay.
I'm going to just go all crazy with these predictions tonight because I'm not going to win anyways because I never do. So my prediction for this one is literally no contest. I think they do
not a bad idea.
I think they do a no contest. They have some kind of rematch, like a lumberjack match or some bullshit at WrestleMania because they can't keep it in the ring. They both get counted out, either some double count out, no contest, whatever the fuck, no finish. That's my prediction.
I don't hate
Actually-
that. I don't
that's
want the
actually not a
rematch. I
bad-
sure
yeah.
Yeah, but it's WWE. They run shit into the ground, and it's so close to WrestleMania. I just think they just have a rematch. Because my thinking is, I think they just do it again with some gimmick at Mania on one of the nights as like a bigger attraction match. And I do think they're going to do the three-way with Gunther and the Drew and Sheamus because that sounds fucking amazing. So I want to see it. So yeah, and they'll just do another rematch thing. They can't control it, so they have to do some falls count anywhere, lumberjack, whatever, cage, whatever the fuck on one of the nights and do that. So my prediction is literally some kind of non-finish. That's my prediction.
All right. I don't hate it, but I'm gonna go Brock. I'm kind of leaning towards the JPO logic. If Brock and Gunther is the match, then you don't have Brock losing going into that because it just wouldn't make sense. So I will also go with Brock. All right, what's our next match?
Alrighty, I think I did. I don't remember. I did. Hey, tag match.
Oh yes, the tag match everyone cares about, because who hasn't had enough of Edge and the Judgment Day? Edge and Beth taking on Finn and Rhea.
The problem is it might have ended already, but Edge has only got like a short schedule, so he does this thing where Finn injures him, so he's out for fucking 4 months and comes back again. So
I want to see somebody do a mass like edit of he's back, it's Edge, Edge. You know what I mean?
Edge is back.
Like all the time they're surprised. Even Rumble, I was like,
it's like
anyone surprised by that Rumble?
It's like as many times as Big Show has turned face or heel, Edge has come back from something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Richie, who do you got in this one?
Again, this is not easy to predict. I would say just because you've got Rhea challenging for the Charlotte at WrestleMania, you want to make her look strong. So I think Rhea pins Beth Phoenix with the finisher. I think because it'll kind of look cool. And I think it'll get her over just that more as that kind of this this kind of monster heel. Even though she won't be a heel at WrestleMania, she'll get cheered over Charlotte. But yeah, so I'm gonna go Finn and Rhea here.
All right, Austin.
I'm literally like the same thing. I'm not going wacky on this one because I think Beth has been like spearing the shit out of her like every other show and like getting over on her, so she'll get the actual win here over Beth. And yeah, you don't have to pin Edge or anything. You can just have Rhea go over on Beth Phoenix. It's not gonna hurt Beth Phoenix. She's not a regular anyways, so whatever. You know what I mean? Have Rhea, get a win going into Mania. So yeah, Rhea and Finn go over with her, specifically her going over on Beth. Yeah.
I actually have Edge and Beth winning here, but not because of anything. Rhea's not involved. Rhea can beat the crap out of Beth, has her on the outside, whatever. I think Edge pins Finn, and then hopefully that's the end, or it's going to lead to Edge and Finn one more time at WrestleMania for whatever reason. Who knows? Maybe Finn finally brings the demon back. I don't know. But I'm going Edge pinning Finn. So I will take Edge and Beth. JPO, who do you got?
No, you're gonna have to send you on an island of your own there, Jacob. I definitely think you got to have Mommy looking strong going into Mania. If there's a pay-per-view maybe on top of this, I could maybe see Edge and Beth winning, but again, Beth doesn't need the win. Even if Finn's the one that takes the fall, I still think that's just a missed opportunity to have Rhea fucking hit her finisher, pin Beth, a legend, and really again point at that sign and remind us again why she's going to Mania. I think it's definitely got to be a Rhea win here. I'm hoping we're done with this, but again, people have speculated it's going to be the Demon versus Edge maybe in Mania, which just because we've seen, I want to see Edge just do something else. I really do. But regardless, in this particular match, I got to go with Rhea and Finn.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then, Jordan.
Ask me.
If the Mania match is Edge versus Finn, Demon Finn, if Finn wins here, why does he need to bring the Demon out?
I don't know. I just said what some people have speculated here. I'm going more for who has right now the set juicier match, which is Rhea. I don't think you have the Rumble winner lose, even if again it's not her taking the fall. I think you have her look strong. You know.
No, I mean she can still look strong. I mean they've Triple H has proven
not as much.
Right.
That's why I don't think it's a good booking idea. That's why I don't think they'll do
it.
Although I'll say, to JPO's logic, don't forget that Stone Cold won the Royal Rumble in 2001, then had a 2 out of 3 falls match with Triple H a month later where Triple H beat him, and then Stone Cold went over The Rock at WrestleMania. Just remember that.
Oh, yeah. No, it's possible. I'm not saying anything in wrestling
isn't. Anything over WWE.
You know? Because like Jacob said, that is the counter argument of like, okay, that is a reason for Finn to bring it out is Edge spears him or whatever his and Edge gets the win, and now it's like, okay, we got to defeat Edge once and for all. How do we do something different? And he's like, I've got an idea. Face paint.
They need matches for 2 nights of WrestleMania. Edge will face Balor at WrestleMania. It just is.
I just want to see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta have 2 cards, like 15 matches total. So it just is.
There's other people on the roster though.
I
want Edge there. Just maybe someone new.
I'm just saying.
I know. They said I'm in the camp of wanting something different for Edge as well at some point, but I don't. It's getting to the point where I don't even know if he'll do something different because I think he's talked about retiring this year.
Yeah, I think SummerSlam is in. So I think SummerSlam is in Toronto this year. So I think that
might be a swan
song. Yeah.
To me, that's even more of a reason to do something different, though. If you've got a limited amount of matches, then let's make them different. No more rematches then.
Too bad you can't snag Christian. Just have Edge and Christian have like one last match either together.
I guarantee, even if Edge leaves this year or like is like, all right, I'm good, and Christian's contract ends in like a year or two, he's gonna come back for a tag match. That tag's happening in Saudi Arabia sooner or later.
It's Saudi Arabia show, yeah.
It'll be Edge and Christian versus DX.
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia is running out of people to pay. You know what I mean? Like everyone's retiring. Triple H can't do it no more. Sean's like, nah, I did it once. I'm good.
Yokozuna can't do it.
That fake Yoko. Taker's out. Kane's a mayor.
Yeah.
Edge and Christian. That's a Saudi match all over.
I would like to point out though that we are 2 matches into our predictions already, and we already have a bigger difference than the Royal Rumble predictions.
Yeah, which is good.
Where everything was the same.
Not that I hate it. Again, the Rumble was like a good, I don't hate these outcomes, but it was predictable.
Right.
Yeah. Do we need to have Elimination Chamber entry numbers on standby?
Ooh, maybe just in case, unless there's enough difference.
Oh, I had an idea for that for like kind of a tiebreaker if we needed to. That I'll get to. When we're done. But what's the next match you got?
All right. Hey, Women's Chamber.
Women's Chamber. All right. Austin, who you got in this one?
Asuka and her Juggalo makeup.
I also have Asuka. I'm between her and Liv, but I think Bianca and Asuka is a match that I want. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went with Liv. I think she's got a good story going too. She lasted all the way from number 1 to the end of the Rumble. Maybe she'll do the same thing here. Well, she'll enter 1 or 2 and make it to the final 2 and just come up short again. I don't know. Maybe that's somewhere they could go with her character. We'll see. But yeah, no, Asuka and Bianca just seems like a
Asuka and her
match.
face. Yeah.
Jordan, who you got?
Hey, Dorian Roadkill are fighting the Baldies right now. None of the Baldies drafted.
If the Baldies are in the ring, there's a good chance New Jack comes out at some point because that's all he did in the year 2000 was just.
It must be a triple threat too because Hollywood Nova's out there.
Yeah, well, if Nova's out there too, there's a really good chance New Jack's about to come out.
Yeah, looking like a Black Spider-Man. That's a cool outfit. Anyway, this is an interesting one because I'm not too dead set on anyone here because no one here is a great heel for Bianca's face, which is the interesting thing. Carmella and Natalya are there to fill out the match, and Natalya's there because it's Montreal. Nikki's interesting, but again, not a Mania match at the moment. Raquel and Bianca, I don't know if that's a Mania match either. I think Liv, if you went really more she starts going heel and crazy, outside chance. But yeah, for right now, I think the safest money is indeed Moon Mist, Fago, Asuka. New kind of character here, and I think that is a money match. Asuka versus Bianca, I think, is even face a money Mania match.
Richie,
yeah. Look, I don't want to harp on it too much. I don't understand WWE's obsession with Carmella. I think she's fine, but she's not a good wrestler. I don't know why they put her in these spots. Anyway,
she's got to be the first one eliminated.
She's a good 5th or 6th placement, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but you could have had Piper Niven or someone in here. Anyway,
at least they're slowly building her. I don't mind,
Yeah, and I hardly recognize Natalya. I was like, oh shit, that's Natalya. She looks different. Anyway,
well,
she came back. She didn't need to be in this. If this was in Montreal, she wouldn't be in this.
Well, 20 surgeries later, you're gonna look a little different. So
yeah, no,
still looks fine.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, part of me, just as an offshoot, just because I think she's going to go full heel. As an offshoot, I'd want Nikki Cross to win because I think Nikki Cross is a full-on heel. It's something they haven't explored on the main roster yet, and I think that'd be awesome. I think it's going to come down to Raquel and Asuka though, and I think it's going to be Asuka because she's getting over with her new character, which is kind of just her old character of Kana. Yeah, so I'll go with Asuka.
All right, first time we all agree. What's that next match? Probably the men's match.
It's men's.
The men's match for the United States Championship. So I'll go first on this one, and I love this match. I'm very excited to see what these guys do inside the chamber. I think this is a very unique match. Not 6 people I would expect to see inside a chamber match, but I'm here for it. I think Theory and Rollins are probably the only 2 that have been in a chamber match. So some fresh faces inside the chamber, which is cool. I'm torn here between Theory retaining and Rollins, but I think I think Logan Paul. Hear me out. I think Logan Paul is on his way to winning his first singles title in WWE, and I think he's taking. This is obviously after Saturday. I could be way wrong on this, but I think he is taking that United States title from Seth Rollins. I think Rollins wins here, and then we start to build to Logan and Rollins. Which kind of, it was built up on the Pat McAfee show. There's a clip. I haven't watched it, but Rollins was, talking about Logan Paul and how he's in WWE for all the wrong reasons. I don't know if it was in character or not. It probably was, but
it was even on Raw. Like they brought it up on Raw too.
Okay, so. I didn't watch Raw, but so yeah, I'm gonna go Rollins. GPO.
Oh, Roadkill just hip tossed Vic Grimes to the card.
All right, so you heard JPO. He's going with Roadkill.
Vic Grimes. Roadkill. No, yeah. So
I want to see Roadkill in an Elimination Chamber match. It'd be fun.
At one point, he almost fought Undertaker, and his bold trunks gimmick. I'm 100% with you, Jacob. Actually, here, I think I like seeing the new faces in this. It's a good kind of testing for Montez Ford, who I think has had star power since day one. Literally, I saw him at a house show for NXT and was like, oh, this dude's entertaining. He's got the kind of it factor, and he's just gotten better ever since. So this is his first kind of. He's had a couple like singles matches with like Rollins on Raw, but this is his first like big pay-per-view singles outing. So interesting to see how he does. Gargano's, I love him, but I think he's again kind of there just to fill it out. Priest might look good. Same thing with Reed, but I don't see them winning. I think it's Rollins or Theory. Theory retains. Nice little heel victory here that we probably won't see in the women's. But I am going to go with Rollins. Rollins is my official pick. I think he's over enough to where it's going to be a great pop because people love him. Shout out to the boots. If you haven't seen Raw, just simply watch his clip from Raw on Monday to see his boots. I mean that wholeheartedly. His boots were, oh my God. And I think you're right. I agree that Rollins versus Logan is a match that doesn't need to be a title match. But to me, why not? May have the title mean something. Have that be a title match, whether it's his first title win or not, or if Rollins retains and maybe we get a rematch and whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna say put it on Rollins to be a nice pop, and it'll add to a match and make it even bigger. So,
all right, Richie.
Yeah, look, it's cool that Montez Ford, Gargano, Priest, and Reed are in there. I think Reed will serve its purpose as the monster in the match. I think he'll look good, but ultimately, I don't think he'll come out the winner. It's good that Montez Ford is getting a opportunity at singles glory. Hopefully, when they do that eventual breakup of the Street Profits, that Joe Dawkins also gets a decent push because he's improved a lot.
Hopefully, he doesn't get tuckered next to Otis. Is that what you mean?
No, yeah, where they kind of one turns heel but never has a match. Just leaves. Johnny Gargano, I think his time will come. I feel like I'm a bit iffy about what they've been doing with him. I think he could be more.
Yeah, it's 100%. That's why I'm like, his time's not now because that his role hasn't been that great.
Yeah, I don't know what. Just get him away from Dexter Lumis and the Miz things. I don't know, man. It's just not. It doesn't work for me. So I also think it comes down to Theory or Rollins. But Theory is rumored to face John Cena at WrestleMania, but I don't think that needs to be for the United States title. Yeah, you could argue that Seth Rollins and Logan Paul doesn't eat. You can argue Seth Rollins and Logan Paul doesn't either, but I think there's more of a chance Logan Paul will be around for more shows than John Cena will be. So I'm also going to go.
Right. Yeah, I was just saying that actually also I think helps our case because Cena versus Theory really doesn't need to be a title match. Cena doesn't need a fucking title. That's definitely a match that could just be a match.
Yeah, and if there is a title attached, it almost just gives away who's going over.
And that's a good reason to even do the match because you can then have Theory doing the whole calling him out thing because oh shit, I'm not gonna have a match.
Because it's bad enough that you have a part timer like Roman Reigns being the world champion. You don't want a part timer having your secondary title.
Okay, I gotta just pause for real quick and give Pez credit.
Yeah,
New Jack's on his way about to fuck shit up.
I told you. If you ever see the
totally called it.
Okay, what pay-per-view is it? 2000.
Hardcore Heaven 2000, I think.
I told you anytime it was
about to fuck up the Baldies,
and the Baldies or Nova was in the ring or something to that effect, New Jack always came out.
There's Angel. 100%. He just hit Angel with the keyboard.
Yep. He types the keyboard first and then hits him with it. His garbage can.
He's biting DeVito. Yep, it's all happening.
Staple gun, the whole works. Yeah.
Nova's still in the ring too. Nova's probably about to die.
Well, no, actually, he was friends with Nova at one point.
So okay.
Nova. Yeah,
I just noticed that.
They tagged a couple times.
I'm going to go with Seth Rollins.
Oh, sorry.
Awesome.
I know my late term ECW JPO.
I just looked up and I'm like, oh shit, there he is.
So Austin Theory and John Cena doesn't need a title. Yeah. Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, Logan Paul. That's why I got them mixed up.
Yeah.
Okay. Logan Paul, Seth Rollins doesn't need a title. That's why Johnny Gargano wins the Smash and takes the title.
Okay. I like the swing.
The dark horse to take it gets the titles out of the way. Seth Rollins doesn't need the win. He still has the feud with Logan. It's still a big match. Johnny Gargano takes the dark horse win.
I could see that. That's actually not a bad prediction.
All right, and so we've only got one match left. I cannot wait.
Dusty Rhodes.
To hear the pop that Dusty Rhodes gets in Montreal.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to hear the pop that Sami Zayn gets in Montreal. And for the first time in a long time, I'm actually not so sure about a Roman Reigns match. But JPO, what about you?
Yeah, I actually was having this discussion last night. I think with the other Jacob in the league West, and I'm still gonna go Roman. I still think the story we're leading to is Roman and Cody. You know what I mean? You got Cody doing it for Dusty and whatnot, and that story's just not there if it's Cody versus Sammy. Plus, who do I cheer for? The guy doing it for his dead dad or the really plucky underdog? Like, it's a weird story all of a sudden if you go there. So I think it's Cody trying to accomplish that streak. Plus, you could add to the feel. I think you could have that other Uso turning his back on Sammy, leading to that tag match that we've been speculating as well. Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos. So we could accomplish that here. So yeah, it is an interesting one because if Mania wasn't around the corner, if Cody wasn't going for it, this is another match where I'm like, yeah, I think Sammy could do it. Like, he's so over right now that they might have pivoted to giving him the title, and they still could. But I think that story is still so set in stone that it's got to be Cody. I feel like at the end of the day, at least going for it, even if he's not the one that takes it off Roman. We'll get to that in a month, but I'm gonna say Roman retains here.
All right, Richie.
Yeah, I don't think they to their credit, the Cody Roman thing's been built up really well as well. But yeah, but I don't think they would want a situation where Cody is there's fan backlash from him again, because I feel like if you do Cody and Sammy, I think Sammy actually gets cheered over Cody here because I think it's a story. But yeah, so. As much as it would be nice if they would have maybe did a pivot and did a triple threat match at WrestleMania, but they've done that before. They've had to do that a couple of times now, so I don't know if they're going to do that again. They're going to go, oh god damn it, got to do it again. But yeah, so I'm going to go Roman here, but it should be a good match, and I think look, you could do Cody versus Sammy down the line somewhere. Maybe that'll be pay-per-view. Could be pretty good. But yeah, I just think I think Cody is ultimately going to beat Roman at WrestleMania. So. Yeah, Roman.
All right. Austin?
Yeah, Sammy's going to get a hell of a pop when he comes out in Montreal, and he's going to get a hell of a pop at the end of the night when he beats Roman Reigns for the title. I'm taking Sami Zayn. I don't know where they go from there, but I'm just taking it. I think they do it. I think they pull the trigger on it. The timing's right. The promo with fucking Cody was great. All the promos before that have been great. I think you pull the trigger on and just do it. Vince McMahon's not in charge anymore. People can win in their hometown.
Yeah, you're not alone, Austin, because I too am taking Sami Zayn. Because Cody's story isn't beating Roman. Cody's story is winning the one his dad couldn't win and doing it for his dad. That has nothing to do with beating Roman. He can do that beating Sammy. And whether there's fan backlash or anything, deal with that when it comes. But can you imagine the pop that Sami Zayn is going to get? Not only
the
when
same one Drew would have had at Clash at the Casual, but didn't get.
Yes,
hey, he got to sing with Tyson Fury at the end.
That's why Tyson Fury's going to come out of the crowd and sing with Sammy.
Yes, you are still on the air. But no, I think it's a little bit different because I think Drew had that crowd support, but I think Sammy has the crowd support everywhere, not just Montreal. But you could hear the crowd at Royal Rumble when he finally, hit Roman with that chair, and just if that promo alone on Monday, they were chanting "This is awesome" for a promo. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Heard anyone chanting "This is awesome" for a promo, and it was a really good promo.
They've done plenty of face versus face main events in WrestleMania. Stone Cold and The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker,
AJ
Shawn
Styles,
Michaels.
Shinsuke.
There's been no shortage of those. So people who are saying that are fucking fools because it's happened many, many, many times. So you know what? Hey, it is what it is. So
is there any clues in the background?
Yeah.
Could you see a situation? Okay, where because Roman's got two titles. Could you see a situation where on night one Roman loses to Sammy, and then the next night he loses to Cody, the other one?
Only if he's taking time off afterwards.
They're not going to do a rematch. What do you mean night one, night two? They're not going to do this match again, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be a way to, I think they desperately need a title on Raw. That's what I'm saying. So it'd be a way for Roman to be like, hey, yeah, I think Roman will be taking time off after WrestleMania. So, yeah, I don't know.
You could do a thing where Sammy wins this match, and in the contract he didn't read that it was only for one of the belts, not both of the belts.
We've been saying that for so long, man. I don't
know.
You know, I mean, I'm just saying. Both titles, I'm just saying, and they take one of them, and they take one of them away from him because it wasn't in the contract. You never know. I'm just saying.
I know we've been thinking that for a while.
They could do some shenanigans where he won, but he didn't really win. You know, I'm just saying, like he could get the win, and they could pull some kind of Jericho shit when he beat Triple H. You know, the next night. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think he'll. Let me win. I think the temptation to have him it's too perfect to have him not win in Montreal. The way they built this up, it's too perfect to not
losing his hair. Anyone else?
So I because they couldn't have planned. How long have they had this venue probably booked for this thing? Like, did they have it booked at the beginning of this feud? Like, I don't think it's. You know what I mean? Like the way they built this up, it's crazy. So.
No, I don't. Yeah,
I was still
either you build up Roman to get this major heat because he beat Sami Zayn in Montreal, or you send the crowd home happy, and the viewers.
You send them home happy in Mania.
I think it also just because you risk a kind of situation where you have even Cody's really over, but. Do the fans kind of turn on it because it's not Sami Zayn?
Exactly. We don't care about you and your dad's legacy.
And the more and more I think about it, just having Sami then team with Owens to go over the Usos in Mania, it's not as much of a moment as if he wins the world title in Montreal.
That is true. For sure.
I'm sorry. I know one's WrestleMania, one's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I get that. But at the same time, I feel like it's a step down. You're giving them the second grade win, as opposed to what you could do at this show and just pull the trigger on it and do it.
Especially when you consider that that it would be a cool moment if they won the tag titles. Kevin Owens is turning on him eventually again. Yeah. That's what he does.
Not everyone has to win their first title at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I just, to me, when was the last time the pay-per-view that was smashed in between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania was this hyped? When was the last time that this one had that much
good
hype?
On them for that. Yeah.
It seems like it's the last 10, 15 years, it's just been like a throwaway, just pushing the same shit towards WrestleMania, whatever. But like this one's probably going to have more people tuning in than any of those ever, like in a long, long time. Like I was trying to think the other day, I honestly, maybe the last time the one, like either No Way Out, Elimination Chamber, whatever you want to say, because it used to be No Way Out, obviously it was like the in-between one, might have been the Cactus Jack retirement match, like the Hell in a Cell with Triple H, maybe back in 2000. That might be the last time I had this much hype. Like
supposedly, like this might be the last Elimination Chamber pay-per-view because I think Triple H wants to go back to the No Way Out thing and get away from gimmick pay-per-views.
I'm kind of sick of the gimmicky thing too, because I miss the days where the Elimination Chamber or the Hell in a Cell was a thing you broke out every now and then, as like a big thing, instead of just, here comes the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. We have to have a couple of Hell in a Cell matches with no build-up whatsoever. Right. And the Hell in a Cell, you go back to like the Attitude Era, and it used to mean something when somebody said,
a blow-off.
When I wanted you in a Hell in a Cell, that meant something for a long time, like that.
It's not just, it's October. Who's kind of feuding? Those two, sure.
Yeah, we'll put those two in a Hell in a Cell, and then we'll have a DQ and a fucking Hell in a Cell match.
Anyways. Get rid of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Get rid of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I would even get rid of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So keep money. You make it interesting. You could send the men's Money in the Bank back.
Go back to having the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania. That means something.
Well, I had heard that from the get-go, but this year might have been too late. I wouldn't be surprised if next year that's what
I understand it's too late now, but like go back to when it used to be like every year with the Money in the Bank. When it was cool because you also had that factor of that person could cash it in at WrestleMania that night. If they wanted
Seth
to.
Rollins.
It's another good way of having like it was 6 to 8 top-tier talent in a match too. Right. You know what I mean? Which is not a bad idea.
And if you want to keep the women, I would say do men's at WrestleMania, do the women's at SummerSlam or something like that.
Yeah, and I also like that idea too, because even with Rumbles, like my only small complaint is like we're seeing the same match, not back to back, but within an hour or two of each other.
Right.
Like I wouldn't mind it being spaced off either. Elimination Chamber, I don't mind if they were to skip it, but I don't mind if it's a pay-per-view because it doesn't have to be. It is kind of a random match. It's kind of is just like 6 people battling for either a more contendership or a title. But I also wouldn't mind if they skipped it for in a year,
Right.
which I could see them doing because Triple H even at War Games Survivor Series, they're like, "Is this what it is now?" And he's like, "Not necessarily." You know what I mean? Like, I know like we stepped away from the traditional elimination matches. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean we're never going to do that again or never do this again. Like, I could see him like mixing shit up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Right. And I think if you're going to call your pay-per-view Elimination Chamber or Hell in a Cell or whatever, I think that should be like your focus. Like that needs to be your main event. And I think right now with if Roman's not involved, that's not going to be your main event.
I'm torn on that. Even with the Royal Rumble wasn't the main event this year. Like,
yeah, but that was weird. But that was weird because like it used to be, and it's not anymore.
Well, not always. There's been other Rumbles. There's been other Rumbles.
I know, and they weren't as good. I like when the Royal Rumble is the main event.
Well, I know. I'm just saying it's
the road to WrestleMania begins with the Royal Rumble, and that should be the main event. Like,
yeah.
The 2006 one where Kurt Angle and Mark Henry main evented.
Yeah, just simply get a Taker return. Yeah, that was more so for the Taker return. Yeah. That is like the number one. Like, why is this the main event?
Was it 2013? Did Punk and Rock main event that, or was it the Royal Rumble? I can't remember.
That's a good question.
I can't remember.
All right, I did have a tiebreaker in mind if we wanted to. I was thinking a good tiebreaker might be predicting who the last entrants were in the chamber matches. Who would be number 6?
Yeah.
The Rock did main event, by the way.
Okay. So we'll start with the women's. Again, it's Asuka, Liv Morgan, Raquel, Natalya, Nikki Cross, and Carmella.
I'll say Nikki Cross.
Okay.
You're asking me who's last in?
Yeah. Who's the sixth entry?
Shitty Carmella. And I don't mean that in like a wrestling way. I just mean like, she's a heel. So Carmella.
Okay. Richie?
Yeah, I think Carmella as well, actually. I think it'd be kind of a way
for a tiebreaker, Richie. Don't agree with me.
Okay. Yeah, I know. It's good, but I
I'm actually going to go Natalya. I think Natalya enters. I think Asuka and Asuka and Liv start the match and end the match.
Like the Rumble?
Or maybe Asuka enters like 3rd or 4th. But I think Liv definitely starts the match and goes all the way before. But
Liv's going to want to be first and she'll come in second, which is weird.
Yeah. And then the men's, again, we have Montez Ford, Bronson Reed, Johnny Gargano, Theory, Seth Rollins, and Damian Priest. I think Theory enters last.
I'll say Rollins only for some stupid reason to where he's like the last one in there. And when they do the countdown, the crowd just starts singing his song before he comes in. And he's like,
I like that actually.
He's conducting the crowd while he's in the chamber, like whatever. I don't know.
Because you know it's coming.
Stupid reason because you know it's coming. So
yeah.
No, that's my only reasoning. I don't have any other reasoning. Again, my predictions, fuck it. I never win anyway, so I'm going all over the place. Let's go.
Jordan?
I'm going to go with Bronson Reed. I'm going to say save the monster. He comes in, gets maybe 2 eliminations, kills Gargano, maybe kills
and then somebody
Montez.
hits him with a sledgehammer and wins the match.
Pretty much. Have him come in, look hot, It's fucking,
anybody remember Goldberg in the chamber? Yeah.
I try not to.
Yeah, the night they killed Goldberg, night Triple H killed Goldberg's push deader than a fucking hammer. All right, anyways, yeah.
All right, Richie.
Yeah, I know you don't want me to agree with you, Jordan, because it makes it weird, but yeah, that's where I was going to go. Bronson Reed, I think.
Well, I hope me and Richie don't tie because we just defeated.
Do they have all the same predictions?
No, the only thing they have different,
is
Jordan has Brock, Richie
as
has
Bobby.
Bobby.
Okay.
So they at least got one difference. Okay,
All
so
right.
somebody will win that one, somebody will lose that one, or I win that one with my no contest, and none of y'all win
Yeah.
that one.
Which-
Y'all experience.
I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to push that to Mania.
No, it's not a bad idea at all.
I'm either going to be like 6 for 6. Holy shit, he's fucking Karnak the Magnificent, or he gets 0 right out of 6.
Holy shit, has his writing job. None of us know he's on staff.
Yeah, right. I wrote the whole show, guys. I didn't tell you.
Here's my draft right
I've
here.
been working from home.
Bonus question: which chamber match opens the show? Because they're going to open with one of them.
Yeah.
I think since the men's Rumble opened, I think they open with the women's chamber, and we start with that.
I think they open with the men's actually and do the women's because the men will close the show with Roman and Sammy.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my logic. I'd say you still start with the men's.
I don't know if it'll open the show. Bobby and Brock might open the show. I don't know. Or even the Judgment Day match. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. I don't know.
Except for that tag, we're womenless on this show, so I say, yeah, they're gonna save them.
Yeah,
like they're technically in the tag match, but like there's no like singles.
I could see them starting with the men's chamber, me personally, and just doing that.
Yeah, I reckon. Just cause, I mean, the United States title is being treated as like important, but I feel like maybe of more importance is the women's the number contendership for the women's title. So I feel like you'd start with the. I don't know. I think you start hot with still have to start hot, but I'm just going to go with the men's as well.
I also don't think that's not a knock. Like when you say importance, they're still pay-per-view matches, and sometimes in a way, the first match is actually kind of more of a coup than like the 6th match or the 5th one in this case.
And since I'm writing the show, I book
which one is it?
I book in the show with on the front end of the show the little underdog going over in the chamber with Johnny Gargano and the little underdog in the main event going over with Sami Zayn. And I book in the show with 2 little underdogs going over at the front and the end of the show. See, because I wrote it, so that's the way I wrote it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think this should be a good show, so I am looking forward to it.
I can't wait to watch it the day after while I'm hungover.
So yeah.
While I'm doing my notes for my Battleground match that night, which I'll have plenty of time to do that while the fucking chambers are rolling on for 40 minutes while I'm just waiting for them to get to the finish. So that'd be a good time to do notes.
Yeah.
Do your notes that night. Pez, we're confused by your argument about the three-headed dragon in Schindler's List. Listen, man.
Listen, Sami Zayn, would make a great
the one wearing the red coat.
Yeah.
Listen, you made a good argument about Sami Zayn winning the title, but we're talking about
we're talking movies here tonight.
Actually, about Scream, and he wanted a tirade about Johnny Gargano winning a title.
Yeah.
we should bring back wrestling debates. I'm just saying.
I don't even. Who did it? Someone did it, and I won.
I was scheduled to do one. I had the questions, and then the thing just went away. I don't know where it went.
Let's do it, man. We'll run channels.
We'll talk off air.
Yeah. I've talked to you about it before, just because I think that would work. But yeah. So I had a debate with you once, and I think we've had 2 debates. You won one, I won one.
I won both. I don't know.
I mean,
Anyway, this has been our show. This was a lot of fun building these cards, doing these predictions. Richie, tell the people where else they can find you.
Cool. I'll try and do that very quickly because apparently
cool. Right. Jordan, tell the people.
No.
Henry's not here. Fuck him.
Okay, cool. You could find me at Tournament Fights Tier Ranker, and probably gonna. I got to message Jordan because I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be moving when you're doing the Al Pacino. Rob De Niro one.
Yeah, I got to deal with Jonathan
Peck
and Ross Bristow and Wolfman on the rest of the panel. That'll be fun.
Good luck with that.
It makes you feel better. I have to. I signed up for Rankum. It's got Jonathan. It's got all. Jonathan Peck, Zachary Shelton, and I think JD Domash on one of them. So I'm like, okay.
Sounds like a great time.
You are all great people.
Yeah.
I was I was busy.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. So I guess you can find me there on Rankin Paul Rudd movie. So you can find me on Tournament Fight Street Rankin. Usually find me on here doing Lonely Marks. You find me doing wrestling trivia on the on combat wrestling trivia on Chris Cass's Twitch channel. Got a title shot coming up soon, hopefully. Yeah. I don't know again too. It might be Alex Warden. It might be Paul Mead. Hopefully it's Paul Mead because I can beat him. And yeah, could do wrestling trivia on Jordan Owen's channel and movie trivia, and yeah, other than that, yeah, I do a podcast on about Tubi movies called Thomas Dreamin'. The last episode we released was Cursed Humpty Dumpty. Next week taking a bit of a week off, but we'll be back. We will be we'll be back with Frank and Hooker, so that should be fun. And yeah, yeah, keep an eye out for that. And yeah, other than that, I'm around.
All right, Jordan.
Yeah, I pop on here from time to time doing the tournament fights. Also, I'm on this thing called Lonely Marks on Thursdays. Y'all should check it out. No, and yeah, we're at the Periscope channel. We're doing some movie trivia. We're gonna continue the tournament next week. Maybe some countdowns. I think we've all discussed some different countdown ideas. Pierce Wrestling Channel. Gonna have some more exclusive matches popping up on that, as well as interviews. And I was also recently on the Dax cast talking about the Florida 100 and all the publicity I got from that, all the love,
all the good, the bad, and the ugly that came out of
all
that.
the love.
You
I
made
need to
sure
go back
to
to
plug
Florida
the
and get my
show,
heat.
right?
Yeah.
You did. I saw you mention that. Totally. Listen to the Daxcast to hear me plug this show. Maybe I do.
He
Maybe I
didn't plug
don't.
the show, guys.
I might have. I don't remember. And also catch me on the corner. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I won't. Austin.
I do shows damn near every night of the week, it seems like. So tomorrow night, Pacino De Niro. Saturday night, I'll be on Mega Movies for a double shot with Wolfman. First doing a Scream 3 review because I love Scream 3. And then we'll be getting drunk doing our monthly mistake of My Bloody Valentine 3D. So right afterwards. And then I think me and JPO are on Chad Webb's thing Sunday night, ranking Tarantino. Tarantino. That's literally right after I tape my Battleground match. I'll be jumping up for it doing that. So I got that. One thing at 7 and another thing at 9. So double shot on that night. Another... Yeah, and all kinds of other stuff. And me and Jacob will do our podcast at some point next Saturday. So
yeah.
we don't know because Jordan wants to do something on Saturday. I don't know. We'll figure out when we're doing that. You never know.
Yeah. We've got a fun show planned for that. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We got a little blind ranking going on.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Our plan. So yeah. Tune in to see what that's all about. And tune into our previous episode if you want to know what our top 10 Marvel movies are, because that was the topic of discussion for our last episode. So yeah, catch that. Podcast about movies, Lonely Marks. That's what I do, as well as popping up on tournament and tier ranker fights. But this has been fun. That's our show. So for Jordan, for Richie, for Austin, I am Jacob. And fun fact, some people actually do need help getting oxygen to their eyes. So maybe this isn't
itching, burning sensation. That's why he was so passed out. He had itchy watery eyes.
Yeah. So maybe the doctor did know what they were doing. All right. Have a good night.
Join our